Alright, topic 3 review video. So when it says give an example of each of the following, a relation that has a function. So this is just, remember your x's can't repeat. So anything where it could be like 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, whatever, as long as your x's don't repeat. A relation that is not a function, you would want to make this where your x's repeat. So as long as you make something where your x's repeat, that would be an example of a not a function. Number 2, answer the following questions about the following relations. We want to find the domain, range, and then determine if it is a function. So remember, domain is your x values. So you have 1, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Range would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. And since my x's do not repeat, yes, it is a function. My domain for this one is -5, -4, -2, 0, 1. Range is 4, -1, 1, 4, 3. And yes, it is a function. If we want to do 1 to 1, that just means that the y's don't repeat. Technically, this would not be 1 to 1. Because 7 and 8 both go to 2. This would also not be 1 to 1 because your y's repeat. And then this one, domain, would be 2, -1, 5, 3, 2. Range is -3, 0, 5, 2, 1. And no, it's not a function because the 2's repeat. So number 3, Johnny sells popcorn. Each day he earns a set amount plus commissions. We want to write a linear function f to determine Johnny's pay, f of x. So I first need to determine what my slope is. I can pick 2 points and use the slope formula, or I can say, okay, it goes up by 3 every time, and my x's go up by 1, so my slope would just be 3 over 1, which is 3. So then I'd have y equals 3x plus b, and I need to solve for my slope, or excuse me, for my b, my y-intercept. So I'm going to pick a point and plug it in for x and y. I'm going to pick 3, 15. So I'm going to have 15 equals 3 times 3 plus b. So 15 equals 9 plus b. Subtract 9. 6 equals b. So my linear function is f of x equals 3x plus 6. Is the data discrete or continuous? It is going to be discrete because you can't buy in between popcorns. So it's discrete. Then what is the reasonable domain for the function? Domain would be your x's, so it would just be all positive numbers. Whereas if it asks for your range, that's your y's, and it'd be multiples of 3. Alright, so this one says using f of x equal -3x plus 2, find the following. Find f of -3. So the first thing, I'm just plugging -3 in for anywhere there's an x. So I have x of -3 equals -3 times -3 plus 2. -3 times -3 is 9 plus 2. So f of -3 is going to equal 11. Same thing here, f of 5. So I'm going to have f of 5 equals -3 times 5 plus 2. -3 times 5 is -15 plus 2. So f of 5 is going to give you -13. Zeus and Lucy are driving to a city that is 350 miles from their house. They started 35 miles away from home and are driving at a constant rate of 25 miles per hour. Write a function that models the distance they drive as a function of time. Finish the table. So you just go up by 25. So this would be 170 and then 195. You don't even have to look at the table to write a linear function for modeling the distance they drive. So for example, I need to know my slope and my b. So my slope is the constant rate, which would be 25. And my b, or my y-intercept, is how far they started away from home, which is 35. So my linear function, f of x equals 25x plus 35. Is this data discrete or continuous? It's going to be continuous because it's miles. You're just continually going. You're going to hit every little bit in between each mile. What is the reasonable domain and range for the function? So the domain would be, we would need to determine how many hours it would take to get 350 miles. So I would just put 350 in for f of x equals 25x plus 35. And then I subtract 35. Which gives me 315 equals 25x. Divide that by 25. So it's going to take about 12.6 hours. They're going very slow. So my domain would be 0 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 12.6. And then my range would be 0 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 350 miles. All right, so graph the following function. My slope, f of x equals negative 2 over 3x plus 1. Remember, you're doing exactly if it was y equals negative 2x plus 1. So my slope is negative 2 over 3, and my y-intercept, my starting point, is 1. So that means I'm going to go to the 1 on the y-axis, go down 2 and to the right 3, go back to my starting point, go up 2 and to the left 3 because it's negative, and then you connect your dots. All right, b, f of x equals negative 2x minus 3. My slope is negative 2. My b is negative 3. So I have negative 3 here. You go up 2, minus 1, up 2, to the left 1, and then you bracket, just like so. All right, number 7 says, given f of x equals 7x and g of x equals negative 3 times f of x, write the function for g of x. So g of x is going to equal negative 3 times 7x, which means g of x is going to equal negative 21x. This really should have been 11x. That was a mistake. Given f of x equals 11x, describe the transformations from f of x to the following functions. So this is g of x equals 11x plus 3. Sorry about my dog. You are going to, it is up to vertical to plus 3, so it's up 3 units. K of x equals 2 times 11x. This means it's a stretch, or it gets skinnier by 2. And then h of x equals 2/3 times 11x would be a compression, or it gets flatter by 2/3. Which of the following is arithmetic sequence? So arithmetic sequence is added or subtracted by the same amount each time. A is multiplied by 2, B, you subtract 4 each time. C, you add 9 each time. And D, I don't even know what that is. So it's B and C. For the given sequence, write the recursive and explicit rules. So first I have to find my common difference, which is plus 15. So for my recursive, I'm going to have A1 equals 5, and I have AN equals AN minus 1 plus 15. My explicit is AN equals 5 plus n minus 1 times 15. You're going to multiply that throughout. So AN equals 5 plus 15n minus 15. AN equals negative 10 plus 15n. Same thing for B. My common difference is minus 5 because it's subtracting 5 each time. So my recursive would be A1 equals 1, AN equals AN minus 1, minus 5. Remember, this is just the formulas. This is just what is given, so you're just plugging things in. For explicit, I have AN equals 1 plus n minus 1 times negative 5. I'm going to distribute that. So I have 1 minus 5n plus 5. So my final is AN equals 6 minus 5n. Charm bracelet with one charm cost $53. Each additional charm costs $12 more. State the first term and the difference, and write a recursive formula and explicit formula for the situation. So the first term is the $53, and then the difference is $12. So my recursive formula is A1 equals 53, and then I'd have AN equals AN minus 1 plus 12. My explicit formula would be AN equals 53 plus n minus 1 times 12. I multiply that out, 53 plus 12n minus 12. So AN equals 41 plus 12n. Now, I'm going to stop this video, and you can come back for part 2 for the last few questions of the review.